I don't wanna be carbon copy, so I'm cautious when I'm cocky. Cause niggas jack your swag like a sweatsuit out the swap meet. Lately I've been rebranding, so my unborn seed could have a feast off exactly what we planted.
This is Sane Afrikan production. This is Sane Afrikan TV. We doing Ask an African today. We here in Las Vegas, in the Luxor, you know, getting that comedic energy. And I'm here with my good brother. Please, brother, introduce yourself.
I go by Joseph, local artist here, otherwise known by J Capital.
J Capital, my man.
Sir.
I've been waiting on this, brother. I've been waiting on this. Hip hop artist J Capital.
Dig in.
So first, my brother Joseph, who is J Capital?
Well, you know, I'm a native of Las Vegas. I would consider myself a sane African. Just an average, you know what I'm saying, black man that's out here trying to make a way, you know what I mean? Just a man, you know what I mean? That's how I would equate it.
Okay. So with that, you're gonna get to the Sane African later. You done triggered me.
Let's get it.
But we can start that. To you, what is a Sane African? What does Sane African mean to you?
Well, I mean, what it means to me is, you know, someone who knows himself. You know what I mean? If in my world, if you consider black, if you've identified with it, basically biologically, you know what I mean? And from there, you've tried to center yourself with some of those customs and teachings and traditions and things like that. But overall, it's just just a black person in my world. It's a black person who knows himself.
Word. Good looking. Thank you.
Yeah.
So as a brother who knows himself, you're from Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Born and raised?
Yeah.
Tell me, how's Las Vegas produced the black man we see in front of us?
Man.
Like,
well,
what's your story to hear today?
I think all of us who kind of come up here, we all kind of grow up a little fast. I think, you know what I mean. I think, you know, just with the city life, that allure of this kind of nightlife and underworld, kind of you can do whatever you want to do kind of thing is always out there. I think, you know, it was out there for many years. The city's really, to me, not the same like as it used to be. There's a lot more rules, but coming up, I thought we had just a free will, man. It seemed like a free will to just kind of do whatever. It seemed like. But I just felt like growing up fast. But I come from a two-parent household, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had a strong foundation. But without a lot of things that other cities have, you know, you have to find things to do. You know what I mean? And this is a desert landscape, so it's a lot different. You know what I mean? When there's a lot more buildings now and stuff, but we came up playing in dirt, basically. You know what I mean? And just trying to make our way, you know, that way. You know what I'm saying?
No. Okay. So you hit on one thing that I'm very big on, and the two-parent home. I think that's something that's very foundational. You know, especially for brothers like me and you,
Sure.
Black men, in these urban areas. So how is having your mother and father? How is that provided foundation for you?
Oh, to me it was great. I mean, you get especially now, speaking from now, like you get a real understanding of what family is. You know what I mean? What it takes day in and day out to have two different, essentially, personalities, you know, come together, have a family, and raise a family. So I thought, you know, it was a real good learning experience now. Hindsight's always 20/20. You know, coming up, you know, my father was typical father-son. You know, you get to a certain age and you start bucking back and things like that. So, but I think overall it was a good example, especially in this day and age, of having two people make a union, stay together, and raise a family. You know what I mean? So,
facts. And I remember you joined us, so thank you
Yeah.
for joining in on the Two Black Parents Challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because that right there was so, to me, it was just a real powerful moment, you know, because like you said, we don't have that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so rare to see a mother and father together. And a mother and father who didn't have, sometimes we just have these makeshift families, you know what I mean? And my family is from the root, essentially. So You know what I mean? I just think it's a rare thing that we had. Shout out to my parents too. They recently did just pass, but you know what I mean?
Condolences.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do want to share, yo, that was a beautiful. It was a beautiful picture. You know, like in the for what we did, it was great to see so many black people showcasing their black mother and their black father, and we smiling. You know, as family, and it's so again. Thank you for joining in on that. We didn't get much, but for those that did, it's powerful to see. So that, like I say with my parents, the best thing, even regardless of, you know, like looking in hindsight and bucking, the best thing they did for me was get together and have me. I'm grateful for just that.
Definitely.
You know,
definitely. Life, baby.
It's powerful.
For sure.
So with that, so what would you say is 2 things that your mother and father left you or gave you that you still hold or cherish to this day?
I definitely got my work ethic from my father. You know, this is a man that went day in and day out, regardless of how he felt. You know, he went to work. He made sure to, you know, provide a way. You know what I mean? And I think, of course, I come from 2 parents that work, so that may or may not have rubbed off on my mom or whatever. But she was kind of the same way. So I would actually take that from both, you know, and say that consistent work ethic and just continuing to get up, provide, you know, stay on it is something that I got. I think I got from my father to be a patient and quiet man and kind of think, you know what I mean? Think about what your brain is essentially receiving, you know what I mean? I picked up just from my father being, you know, again, just really laid back, talking to other people later, just about just how he was, even younger. He's always been just a quiet, you know, individual who only really spoke when he needed to. And I think I picked a lot of that up. And when I'm rhyming, of course, that's a whole nother world. You know what I mean? I guess that would be my release. My rhyming, my artistry, I think, is my mom's side. You know what I mean? Because my mom was a little bit more outgoing, fun-loving, and stuff like that. And I think that's what you kind of got to be an artist anyway. You know, is a little outgoing and stuff like that. So I think I got hard work from them. Of course, I got love from them. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna put them both together. I got love, how to get through conflict resolution. You know, I mean, there's so much you can only imagine with a married couple, married 30 plus years. You know, the types of things that you could, you know, learn and get from that. But I would say hard work, love, you know, conflict resolution. Those are some of the things that I got from both of them.
I agree with you. Like, my parents were divorced, young age, but my dad remarried. So living with him, I was still able to see somewhat of a nuclear family.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, like I tell the young people around me, just what you just said. The best example my dad provided was going to work every day.
Yeah.
Because I seen this is what it takes for us to make a way.
Yeah.
And you know, he didn't speak much, but that's what I tell the young boys, and that's what I've learned in my journey of, if I make sure I go do the work, I'll be okay.
Right.
And you know, like I tell them, the slogan, you don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
I mean,
that's
we know
a fact.
who we look like genetically and biologically.
Yeah.
So we gonna have to work, brother.
Hard, y'all.
Work.
Y'all know this.
Right. So yeah. 2 times we're gonna have to work. So that's powerful. Fatherhood.
Yeah.
This is something I think I do want to hit on. Just as brothers, you know, from your father, from being under him, what has Black fatherhood produced for you or given you?
Well, I think that that's kind of deep. I think that we're all, especially, you know, black men. I mean, black people, we're such victims of the system. You know what I mean? Victims of this society and this environment. So I think in a lot of ways, even though I you know, got a lot of those good things from my father, I think a lot about how to be a father and go about that and cultivating your child every day. There may have been some room for improvement there. You know what I mean? I won't lie. I could have maybe gone for some more encouraging words, you know, interactions, things of that nature with my father. But, you know, he was a hard man. He came from a hard generation. You know what I mean? So that's what that was. I think a lot of black men in terms of fatherhood do be trying to figure it out. And given whatever the situation, a lot of times, you know, especially with us now, you know, the courts get involved and things like that, and it just rips everything apart. But I think I got that he was, you know, I feel like he was learning in a lot of ways to try to be a father. You know, he had more girls than boys, so for me and my brother, it was kind of trying to, you know, I felt at times he was just trying to figure out how to connect. You know what I mean? How do I get in line with my boys and stuff like that? And, you know, like I said, typical father-son, it's a fight. You know what I mean? But I think he did a good job. You know, when I look back on it, you know, when I assess it, because I see a lot of people sometimes when their parents pass, they go through, especially now with this victim mentality, we go through this huge list of what, you know, your parents should have gave you and should have done for you and stuff. And I think that when I got my health, I was properly taught right from wrong, you know, and I know how to get it. Like, that is, what else should I be asking a parent to do in that aspect? You know, especially from my end, taking accountability, going for that push to be grown. You know, a lot of us push to be grown before we supposed to be grown. Right. You know what I mean? And I'm no different. So to have that and mix all of that up, I mean, it's a challenge on both ends, man. Fatherhood, you know, and that's why I think that, because my father did have a child before he met my mother, you know, but he still maintained that relationship. But I think whatever went into that, my father made sure to not have to return to that type of situation again, because once he met my mother, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? So I think there was a lesson learned about fatherhood even before meeting my mother, you know, just about the decisions you make and how that could affect you and things like that. So, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to Pops.
Yeah, man.
And Moms.
Yeah.
You just said something that made me want to go into this. I guess we're going to talk about black relationships.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, as we